Hey, this is Mike with Christian Meds. This week I want to talk a little bit about, is it just about a relationship with God, or is it even more? Let's get started. So, one of the things a lot of times Christians talk about is it about us having a solid relationship with God? And there is an aspect of that is really quite a blessing when you start having that type of relationship where you start trusting in Him and you know that He exists, that He is interacting with you in your life. He's opening doors and closing doors, depending on, the ways that He wants to protect you, because all things work for good for those who believe and trust in the Lord. So, is that what it's really all about, or is it actually something even more? I'm starting to realize that it's even something more than just a relationship, because that relationship that's wonderful between us and the Lord is quite remarkable. And the ones that don't have that, there's that inner peace that we can have that other people, when situations are not going our way, they can be quite frustrated, and other people can be very, just at peace, even though situations, people end up saying, oh, this is a bummer, rather than getting super upset about something, or somebody just says, oh, this is unfortunate. There's different mindsets and different ways things change when you just have that relationship. But I'm saying that really there's a secondary level of all this where most Christians, I don't think, get to, or some Christians don't get to. Might be a clearer description. And that's the aspect of the second part of the greatest commandment, where it's do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. That aspect, when you're starting to think about, dealing with other people, how does that work? And one of the things I've really come to realize is that when you realize that to have Eden on earth, every person would be loving and worshiping God, the true God, Yahweh, or Adonai, and the way that you end up realizing that is that you really can see that every person on the planet is made in the image of God, and every time you look at them, you see the Lord, because they are image bearers. Even if they don't believe, they're still image bearers. And that still is a vessel that has the ability for the Holy Spirit to manifest and influence and change. And once you start realizing it's not only the relationship that you have with the Lord, but also the relationship that they have with the Lord, and then the relationship between us and them. The first place that most people realize this is with a spouse. If two people are both believers, and you start having a relationship with each other in such a loving, caring manner, where you want to do loving, caring acts for each other, and make self-sacrifices, just so that you both can have the best life and enjoy each other's company, that relation is also between you and the Lord, and them and the Lord. And when you start realizing that triune aspect of things also exists with every other person on the planet. And this is a reason to evangelize. This is a reason to end up preaching the gospel. The gospel is truly good news. And when you start realizing that every single person on the planet is its own temple for the manifestation of the Holy Spirit within them, that Holy Spirit you can interact with through them, besides interacting it with you directly with the Lord, which all comes down to the curtain being torn, you also have that relationship between you and that other person. And that relationship also gives you more of God. And when you start realizing that the more people you can see that manifestation happen, the better off your life becomes. And the better off, the more you see the purpose of preaching the gospel, the more you see the purpose of how the Lord changes lives, you know, because when you start giving them an inner peace, them the love and joy that they can have on a daily basis, that they start not worrying about the rat race anymore, not worrying about, you know, having a bigger car or having a nicer car or a newer car or the nicer phone or the newer phone or whatever it is, bigger house. There's all those types of things. And don't get me wrong, the Lord has blessed me quite well. I have everything I could ever want on this planet, you know, and the thing is that now I really could care less about any of it because I really only care about seeing the Lord in me by my relationship, but also seeing the Lord in other people and their relationship. And that whole aspect of things is what this video is about this week. And this is part of the reason to evangelize. This is part of the reason to explain to people the Lord is who He is, can do the things He can do, and He's in control of everything. So all I want to say is, you know, if somebody's going through a tough time, be nice to them. Explain to them the gospel. If somebody is just lost, just say, there's a different path. Do you want me to tell you about it? You know, one of the greatest questions that you can ask somebody is, do you have a Christian background? And not attack them, you know, but just say, hey, you know, I love talking about this. Are you open-minded to it? And they'll tell you if they're not, you know, but asking those types of questions is always a great benefit to both you and them, because you get to see the Lord manifest in them if they become regenerated through the Lord, you know, and that's just remarkable. And that is what makes it to where you get reassurance that everything you believe is true. That's just some of my thoughts this week. I hope you just have a blessed week, and we'll talk to you next week.